Blessings, family. Pray all is well. I want to give honor to the Most High. Praises to His holy name. Acknowledging our up and coming Messiah and unto the Ruach, the Holy Spirit, which is wisdom. So, family, this is a video that I want to show some areas in the Bible surrounding JC that the world have taken on and made it out to be about JC when it actually was speaking of someone else. So here we go. In the New Testament, I'm going to start there first. Emanuel. So we do know Emanuel is spelled with an I as the beginning alphabet and also an E as the beginning. But the E is actually in the New Testament. Okay. So as you read here, it says, Matthews 1:23, Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emanuel, which being interpreted is God with us. So when you change out the I, the E to an I, let's bring up what it says in the Old Testament. So keep focus, make a point of matter about what you saw in the New Testament in reference to surrounding that a child will be born and his name will be called Emmanuel. So in Isaiah 7:14 and also Isaiah 8:8. So Isaiah 7:14, it says, Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. Isaiah 8:8, and he shall pass through Judah, he shall overflow and go over, he shall reach even to the neck, and the stretching out of his wings shall fill the breadth of thy land, O Emmanuel. So let's just click on the first here. 1:7, Isaiah 7:14. And what it says here, as I just read, Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. So, of course, someone would be able to say, oh, see, you see it in the Old Testament, therefore it is in the New Testament as well. It's confirmation. This is speaking about JC, Jesus Christ. So as we rise up, just go up to the top of the page and start there. It speaks of, and it came to pass that in the days of Ahaz, the son of Jotham, the son of Uzziah, king of Judah, that Rezin, the king of Syria, and Pekah, the son of Remaliah, the king of Israel, went up towards Jerusalem to war against it, but could not prevail against it. Okay. So it goes on to say here that, and it was told the house of David, saying, Syria is confederate with Ephraim, and his heart was moved, and the heart of his people, as the trees of the wood are moved with the wind. Then said the Lord unto Isaiah, Go forth now to meet Ahaz, thou and Shear-Jahub thy son at the end of the conduit of the upper pool in the highway of the fuller's field. Okay, so Father's given the instruction unto what Father said to Isaiah, because ones are coming in confederate, and it's what against the house of David, and this is confederate with Ephraim. All right, so I just want to keep you there for a moment. So immediately you say, well, what this is all about. So as you go to Isaiah 8, it starts at the top. It says, moreover, the Lord said unto me, take thee a great roll and write in it with a man's pen concerning, and it's Mahashalahasbaz. And I took unto me faithful witness to record Uriah the priest and Zechariah the son of Jeperchiah. And I went unto the prophetess, and I went unto the prophetess, which means Isaiah went unto, meaning that Isaiah had sexual relations with the prophetess, and she conceived and bare a son. Then said the Lord to me, call his name. And what it says, Mahashalahasbaz. For before the child shall have knowledge to cry, my father and my mother, the riches of Damascus and the spoil of Samaria, shall be taken away before the king of Assyria. The Lord spake also unto me, saying, for so much as the people refuses the water of Shiloh, that go softly and rejoice in Rezin and Remaliah's son. Now therefore, behold, the Lord bringeth up upon them the waters of the river, strong and many, even the king of Assyria, and all his glory, and he shall come up over all his channels and go over all his hills, all his banks. And he shall pass through Judah. He shall overflow and go over, and he shall reach even to the neck, and stretching out his wings, shall feel the breath of thy land, O Emanuel. So what you read in along with me in I want to say it was Matthew's, it spoke of Emanuel, and it referenced back, of course, that to Emanuel in the New Testament. The Old Testament. But family, as you see in Isaiah 7 and 14, it has nothing to do with Jesus Christ. Father gave instruction of what Isaiah needed to do. And the son that Isaiah would have, his name will be called, Mahashalahasbaz. But as you see, the world is referencing around Emmanuel as Jesus Christ. The storyline never was about Jesus Christ. It was about a child being born. He went unto a prophetess. And let me go back and just touch on this. So let me go back here. He said, he went unto the prophetess, and she conceived and bare a son. And Father told him what to call his name. Let's continue. So I'm just going to go to, I want you to actually to hear the name because I couldn't play it in the other. And I probably did not, pronounce it correctly. But take it for love. Okay, it's taking a while to come up. Okay, so let's just go in and see what the concordance is saying about, which is H4122, and that's the name there. And I'm like, have you really ever heard this name before? So let's just play it and see what it says as far as
Strong's H4122. Maher Shalal Hashbaz.
Hashbaz.
Maher Shalal Hashbaz.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I wasn't too far off. So it says here that when you go here to I and A, symbolic name given by Isaiah by the Lord's direction to Isaiah's son, prophetic indication that Damascus and Samaria were soon to be plundered by the king of Assyria. So let's go to another article. Oh, well, it's actually Wikipedia that I want to, let's go to Wikipedia for this name. Okay, it'll be coming up shortly. So let's just start at the top here. So as you can see, it speaks of the same hurry to the spoils, or he has made haste to the plunder, was a second mention in the prophetic name child in Isaiah 7 and 9. Okay, so let's go down a little bit more here to biblical accounts. And then these are the scriptures that line up with it, as you can see here in the analysis. And what it says. So this is what they're saying, that the name is what a second prophetic name child after the birth of Emanuel. Okay, y'all see that? A second prophetic name, as if, Emmanuel was first prophetic name, but then this is a second prophetic name. But let's continue. And then, of course, what I want to show you also is, let me go back here because I think I missed a verse, because this is a different name here. It says, this is often counted the longest name and word used in the Bible, though a possible longer name phrase in Isaiah is found in Isaiah 9 and 6 call. So I didn't see that. Let me go back because there's an area that I wanted to cover. So it says 9 and 6. Okay. So this is what I wanted to cover here. So Isaiah is a continuation from 7, 8. It's a continuation. Okay. And I just want to point some out here, that when you come down to the 22nd verse of Isaiah, and they shall look unto the earth and behold trouble and darkness, dimness of anguish, and they shall be driven to darkness. So this is a continuation, because when you go up to Isaiah 9, nevertheless, the dimness shall not be such as what was in her vexation. And it is like a carry on, because when the scriptures were, given unto, by the Most High to, Ezra and the 5, ones he took, and they went away for 40 days, and Father just, put his spirit on them, and they were writing out the scriptures. It wasn't given by, chapter 6, the first verse, second verse, or what not. It wasn't given that way, family. These people who have taken our writings have made a decision on how when they break up which chapter. So I found in a lot of cases that some of the chapters are going from one page to the next, and it's an ongoing story, which it should be. But then some of them you can tell that they're flipped, that they got, say something in the 25th chapter, it really goes with what in the a second chapter of a book. And I truly believe that that was something that they did to try to, keep us from understanding and knowing this truth even further. So I just wanted to show you that it's speaking of the dimness, and it's speaking of here, nevertheless, the dimness shall be such as were in vexation, and speak of the afflicted, the land of Zebulun and of Naphtali, and afterward did more grievous afflict her by the way of the sea beyond Jordan in the Galilee of the nation. And then it just go on to say, I want to draw your attention down here to 6, Isaiah 9 and 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and the peace there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform it. So automatically, of course, you're like, well, this got to be talking about JC. But this still talking about who Father gave, the name unto Isaiah as well. But you can tell, let me go down a little bit further. So it says in 8, the Lord sent a word into Jacob, and it has lightened Israel. Okay. And then 11, it tells us that we still talking about the king resins. There's still this all affiliated, going back to the 7th chapter of Isaiah, 8th chapter of Isaiah, now 9. And 11 says, therefore the Lord shall set up the adversaries of Rezin against him and join his enemies together. And they're still talking about the Syrians and the Philistines and so forth. Okay. So let's go back to Wikipedia, because this was what I find to be Wikipedia right here. So when you read, actually, it says this is often counted the longest name used in the Bible, though a possible longer name phrase is in Isaiah, found in Isaiah 9 and 6, called, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, family. So I just clicked on there to go to that Wikipedia, and what it's speaking of here, it says prophetic name or title which occurs in Isaiah 9 and 6. Okay, in Hebrew Bible, it is one of the series of prophetic names found in chapter 7, 8, 9. See, continuation of the book of Isaiah. So that proves that 7, 8, and 9 is all together, including most notably Emanuel, God is with us. And then it goes to say the name that Father gave to Isaiah to be called. It says he has made haste to the plunder in the previous chapter, which is a reference to impending plunder of Samaria and Damascus by the king of Assyria. The meaning of, and is sometimes interpreted as wonderful in counsel, God and mighty, the everlasting. So family, this is the same as it was said here in, let me go up here. The same. This is still referencing to Isaiah, to the son that the name Father gave. It has nothing to do with the JC. For unto us a child is born, unto us as a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. So let's just go back there right quick. Wonderful in counsel, God Almighty, everlasting Father, and the ruler of peace. So, speaking of the same thing, family, and I just want to be a vessel of the Most High. I only want to serve the Almighty. I don't want to serve any other God but the Almighty. And as you can tell, what they put, people reference back to Emanuel from the New Testament in Matthew's. They reference it back to the Old and say, yes, it's mentioned in the Old. See? And then you go to see it's spelled differently, but still yet, what that's tie in, it has nothing to do with who they call Jesus Christ. It has to do with a name and a son that was born to Isaiah, that was given unto him, which Father gave him the name. Has nothing. So at the end of the day, I just, want my Hebrew brothers and sisters to wake up, Israel. Wake up. Not only you wake up, but wake up others. So wake up, Israel, because we have been taken for a ride. And instead of, one's out, and I'm just going to put this out, it's going to get down to this eventually. Put aside all the debates. Put aside all of this that you meeting like you going to church and you trying to, we need to get to the point to understand what is going on here, because once you start taking away lies, then you can put truth there, and you can size it up to get to a place through seeking the Most High that could be, of course, a way that, he will look and see how serious we are. We still spinning our wheels. Whether you're in a church, whether you're in a group, whether you're in an assembly, you're still spinning your wheels. Stay in the New Testament, per se. If in the Old, say in the Old Testament, but if in the New, whatever lies. So anything that the New Testament contradicts what's in the Old, then you should be, trying to get to a better place of understanding so you can bring it forth. That's what I'm understanding, family. That's what I'm understanding. But in order for me to get where I'm at, Father, put me on a path to because he never led me out of 25, 30 years, family. I'm just being, downright point blank serious with you all. My first experience of knowing that it was a higher power when I was 8. From that point on, I was looked upon by my family members that, God is always talking to you. That's why he never talked to us. But they said Jesus because they didn't know no different. So they knew that from a little girl that there was something about me that was connected or tied in. And I had, humongous faith from, a little girl through things I asked for, things I prayed about. And the Almighty will bless me. And things that will take and will occur. And I mean, it don't happen like in weeks or months. It's like that. Whenever I ask, it's like the next day I had. And it's over my life, how he led me on different jobs as a missionary. But, but I was on these jobs being used by him. And what I'm getting is that through those many years, he never led me to read the Bible. He didn't make me feel guilty about it. He didn't lead me to church or anything. It was all about me and him, me and the Most High. But I still, was understanding more so about Jesus Christ being the mediator, that things when I would pray, but in that time span, Father didn't tell me any different, didn't show me any different. But family, I had to get here. It's like he wants us to go through to learn what we know and be able to size it up and be like, wait a minute, this ain't right. So much focus on so much everything else. We need to focus on these lies And the lies center around Jesus Christ, around a Messiah that they said that came. That they said came, was born back in 4 or 5 BCE, and then died in 30 CE or AD. And he came for the lost sheep of Israel. But we still are in captivity 2,000 years later. From the time our forefathers came from Babylon until now, we still haven't had a king that reigned within our bloodline over us. It has always been these other kings from other nations. And understanding, Father, when that happens, he has a timeline that, he would bring back us to a place. But through the time when even he gave them the benefit of the doubt by allowing them to go back on the land like Ezra and what is called Nathan, or not Nathan, Nehemiah and Zerubbabel, I think I'm pronouncing it right. Other kings like from not Syria, but from Persia was ruling over them, but they did right by them because they were fearful of the Most High and they were anointed. And I saw a video last night that they called Cyrus, the Persia people did a video about King Cyrus and said that King Cyrus played a significant part in the Bible. And King Cyrus was a Messiah, just like I said. I started crying when I heard them say it, because that's what I used in a video yesterday I did, I think, for Facebook. And I said that he was a Messiah. That is a Messiah, one that Father put his anointing on. We're looking for one Messiah, but everybody that Father uses to assist us or help us or whatnot, they will be considered a Messiah, anointed one. Even if it comes down to Trump, he will be an anointed one. So I know we've been sold, a storyline. We've been told a storyline. In all matter, but at the end of the day, everything right now, what I understand, is at the center of what Jesus Christ, either Yeshua, Yahushua. Everything is centered right there, where we need to circle around that and stay there. And any lies, anything is told that contradict against the Old Testament with the Most High, we need to zoom in on it and tear down those lies. Because see, that's what keeping us from what I'm understanding in idolatry. Just like some days back when I went to sleep and I woke up and I was coming out of sleep, I heard the name King Josiah. And it was a reason why I truly believe. Let me go to, I think I may have it up, yes. King Josiah. Because he was the last king that did right by the Most High. He was the last king. Look, I have it right here. So all these kings were from tribe Judah. The 2 kings in Benjamin. And of course there were some Levites. But right here you see Josiah. He good. He was good. And everybody else behind him was wicked. Now this was going into what? Babylon. So King Josiah was the last really, good king that reigned over. So I heard the name King Josiah. Never knew much about him. And when I went to look it up, he was the one that he had authorized, the high priest, which was, I want to say it's Hakila, who actually was in the temple and found the book of Moses, the book where was unto Joshua about the laws. And he brought it forth and he put it back out to the people, and he threw down all the other gods that they had in the land. You understand? And so what King Josiah, he reigned for a good bit right here. So you can see him down here, but the date line up there is about between 650 to 600 that he reigned. He reigned in the span right here between like 6:30 to, I want to say 6:10 or something like that. But he did right by the Most High. That's right here. He said 622 BC, the book of law discovered. So I believe that's why the Most High was leading me to look it up and then share it with you all. So time out for all this other stuff. Like I said, if I had a megaphone, I would get on the megaphone. And I would tell all my Hebrew brothers and sisters, time out for all the stuff about, you're going to meet today and y'all going to have all these 4 or 5 hours or 3 hours or 2 hours in assembly or in the churches or whatever. Talking about what? You still in idolatry. You still upholding a Messiah that they have given unto us. You're still upholding. We in idolatry. So even with what the Father spoke about with Isaiah, look how far that was back there in the 622. I'm sorry, with Josiah. But look what Isaiah right here. Let me get Isaiah. Where's Isaiah? Right here. So Isaiah right here, and then we go up and look at the timeline. You could see his timeline about 740 to 6, probably 50, not 650. The 6 probably 70. So that was nowhere near the time Jesus Christ came, supposedly. So is when the everything center around Isaiah and the son, his son, that he went unto a prophetess and they had a child. Is that geared back towards that? But what I'm saying, family, our Messiah is still yet to come. I mean, Messiah to get us out of this captivity, going all the way back to when they came from Babylon. We have not had a king since then of our own. Now, I don't want to take nothing away from the Most High, because I know he said, according to 1 Samuel 8, that he was our king and reigning over us. And he told Samuel, don't be concerned about them wanting another king that they can put on the throne on earth. And I'm paraphrasing. Don't be offended, Samuel. It's not against you, it's against me, for they not wanting me to reign over them. Let me go to, and I know this is kind of lengthy here, but I'm going to take you to 1 Samuel 8. Where Father is they're having this conversation. 1 Samuel 8. So it starts off where the judges, and it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of the second Abiah, and they were judges in Beersheba. And his son walked not in his ways. So his sons, they did not walk in his ways. They were taking bribes and they were perverting judgment. And then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel and said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto the Almighty. And the Almighty said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people in all that they say unto thee, for they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. So we know that Father's face, have been turned from us, even when coming out of Babylon, he allowed them to go back on their land, family, but he still did not let one of their own become king. So I know Father was the head of all, but he put his spirit on King Cyrus, and it went down King Cyrus' lineage. But after that, so something happened, had to go south, with the Israelites, because then here come the next people come in, that conquered out the Persians. You understand? I don't think I still have that up about the different kings. Okay. But so you imagine they beat it, so then it just went on and on. So the only thing I'm getting and understanding is that Father has an appointed time where he will do this unto us. Right? Let me go back. Let's go to Ezekiel 37, and where he says, which I, of course, talk to Ezekiel about the bones, the dry bones, and then down here, he said he will do a new covenant. So the covenant, along with speaking of Jesus Christ, we have to understand that when you're looking at this whole picture, what covenant? Who is that Jesus Christ? What is that? There is one. Well, according to what I'm finding, it wasn't. But you can make this call for yourself, right? So let's go here. And it says here, telling about the two sticks, getting them together, and what he's going to do. I'm trying to get to the area where it says speak of the covenant. I'm sorry, family. And it said unto them, thus said the Almighty God, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathens, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions. But I will save them out of their dwelling places wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their God. Okay, so, and it says, and David my servant shall be king over them, and they shall have one shepherd. They shall also walk in my judgment, and observe my statutes, and do them. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, even they and their children and their children's children forever. And my servant David shall be their prince forever. Moreover, I will make a covenant, this is it right here, of peace with them, and it shall be an everlasting covenant with them. And I will place them and multiply them, and I will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore. My tabernacle also shall be with them, yea, I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And the heathen shall know that I, the Lord, do sanctify Israel, when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore. So family, this is letting us know what we have to look forward to. But see, the world, have set up the eschatology saying that, Jesus will come, then, he'll war against the enemies, and, for us being the saints. And then we will do what? Go into the wilderness, or we'll go into the kingdom through the gates? I just really believe that we need to go back and revisit all of this. This is our book. We need to go back and visit all of this. Because if the New Testament, not all of it, have been touched or tampered with, I want to say. But we know, according to what I'm finding, the books of, Matthew's, Mark, Luke, John, and also what you would call a fifth one by Josephus, I want to say the Wars of the Jews, that part one was taken out of the Bible, the canon, and they left the 4 other gospels. So anything surrounding those books, we have to be mindful, and also other books too. Anything that contradicts what the Most High say in the Old Testament, we have to be mindful. So we need to go back to the drawing board. So if you are one on the forefront for the Most High and you listening and Father has you, you need to seek him and allow him to guide and lead you. But I truly believe that all this stuff about we're doing the same thing that, like if we still in, like a lot of us still in church, we go to whatever, function on Saturday to say to keep the Sabbath. Okay, we doing things just like if we were still like, in a Christian mindset status, which Father said, let's meet and join together. But when we meet and join together, we meeting to build on, not to me, when I'm seeing, because I'm affiliated with a lot of different, when I say affiliated, I mean that I actually have subscribed to many, and I truly believe that's what the Most High wanted me to do. And when I go different places on the web, what I'm seeing is that, you're not seeking the Most High. You fulfilling, trying to understand, trying to take up space or time until Jesus comes. That's what we are doing, but we need to be seeking him. We need to be understanding anything that contradicts what he says, then it's a problem. But if you into a state of mind, like in not so much in idleness, because you keeping the Sabbath, you keeping the commandments, but in so to say, but that first one we got to visit. We got to understand that that's idolatry, right? But still in your mind, you have gravitated to Jesus Christ because that's what was given to us. So we need to go back and visit, circle around that, and anything that contradicts or anything that doesn't add up, we need to revisit. And I truly believe that's where it comes in from a mass part of our Hebrew brothers and sisters across this earth. They're going to be ones that going to follow. I mean, by, visiting different pages and viewing. But for those who stuck on, this deity, those who stuck on just, staying in the zone about no. The Bible got to be right. Because this is, ordained by the Almighty. But we have to understand, they took our writings, the same enemies that Father gave us over to, took our writings, and still to this day, they are ruling. And about 6 months ago, I actually was at the foot of side of my bed praying, and I was praying the Our Father prayer, and in it, it says, don't lead us not into temptation. And when I got there, Father had me to pause there, and it's like he gave me the understanding of don't lead us into temptation. He didn't tell me anything else. But 3 months later, the Pope said he's changing, don't lead us into temptation. Don't let us fall into temptation. That's what he was going to change it to. But it was very, profound how just 3 months before that, Father had stopped me while I was praying in that same line that he stopped me and gave me further understanding about is the same thing that the Pope wanted to change 3 months later. Family, as I see it, we ain't got time. I'm just saying it's a small window of people that I can tell have got this and they're moving on with it. And it's a small, narrow line, path. But look at how many people still holding up this JC, this Messiah, and this whole storyline. Look at that. And you'll see. That's the wide path. So is the narrow is going to make it in or the wide path? All right, family. Blessings to you all. Pray that we all wake up. Wake up, Israel. Therefore, we can wake up others. Shalom.